Kia ora koto koto. Welcome to the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast. It's Maori Language Week in New Zealand. That's why we're throwing in a little bit of Maori to the conversation. Absolutely immense scaled breaking news coming on. We've had to quickly jump on the podcast. I woke up here in New Zealand, Rich. New Zealand cancelled the tour to Pakistan.
Huge news, mate. Yeah,
massive.
I was wondering when I'd hear from you when you woke up. Obviously the news broke earlier today, our time. It was pretty much just before the toss, I think it was. So players, I assume, had warmed up. They were ready. Teams had pretty much been selected. And then word came from on high, didn't it? From New Zealand security services, government, etc. Made the decision to pull the tour, abandon the tour basically because of a security alert. That's the official term, isn't it? So they were due to play the first of 3 one-day internationals in Rawalpindi before moving to Lahore for a 5-match T20 series. That is all now off. Not just the first test, all of it off. This has been a bad week or so for international cricket after India, obviously having to finish the test series early. First off, Rob, I mean, we'll go into some comments and stuff like that, but first off, what's your initial feelings? What's your initial reaction? And what's the take in New Zealand as well? They can't be a happy place.
It's hard to know the take in New Zealand when I was reading it at 6:30, 6 o'clock, and now it's 6:30 and we're on the podcast in the morning. So I can see this from 2 viewpoints. Pakistani cricket will be immensely disappointed. They have bent over backwards to be able to host and have international cricket in Pakistan. So as fans of Pakistan cricket, people living there that have been deprived of it for so long, it's going to be incredibly disappointing. Now, the other point and the stand that I make with this is something has changed in the security threat level that's been advised to the New Zealand government. That is where this call has come from. And I don't know if that's kind of made it out into the rest of the world news. But this has been a government security alert that has caused the cancellation. And the call, correctly in my eyes, is if the government sees a concern with Kiwis, with New Zealanders, and I hope any country's government around the world would see protecting people as their number one most thing. And they've gone, this is off, we need to get you guys out. Something has changed. Now, they're obviously not privy to say what has changed. But I can see it from both points. Sad for cricket fans, and particularly Pakistani cricket fans. This is not about Pakistan cricket. This is about the New Zealand government making a stance and going, sorry, something's changed, we need to go. If they didn't want it to go ahead, they wouldn't have them there and be putting them in that place because everything was fine for them a week ago, 2 days ago, whatever it was.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, New Zealand cricket have come out and said they're not going to comment on the details of security threat. With plans being put in place now, obviously, for the team to return home. Quick comment from New Zealand Cricket Chief Exec David White. He said, I understand this will be a blow to the Pakistan Cricket Board, who have been wonderful hosts, but player safety is paramount, and we believe this is the only responsible option. So it does seem like whatever information that obviously we're not privy to and the media isn't privy to at the moment, whatever information New Zealand Cricket have been passed by the New Zealand government, it was enough to make them go, nope, no, we got to go. Yeah. It's gutting. Genuinely gutting. When I heard this news earlier, when it was first developing, when I heard about it just before the toss, it just rips your heart out a little bit because Pakistan have had such a long time, haven't they? Long wait since 2009. Obviously, the Sri Lankan team bus was attacked, wasn't it? Which meant that they had to play all their games, all their home games away from home. But recently, they've had the PSL has come back to Pakistan. You know, initially the knockout points of it, and then more of the tournament. We've had other tours recently, haven't they? I think is it Bangladesh, West Indies, South Africa. A couple more that I can't think of off the top of my head. So this is genuinely gutting. And obviously the response from Pakistan cricket and also Imran Khan, the ex-cricketer who is now Prime Minister, has obviously not been particularly happy. Understandably, I suppose, Rob.
It is understandable. I think it's like anything at life. Your initial reaction isn't the one that's going to stick with you for a long time. And I feel there's a lot of disappointment and anger about what's going on. And Pakistan are turning around to the New Zealand government and Imran Khan going, the security measures are absolutely insane. We're doing everything we can and have done all along to be able to host this. And for them, it is a real gut punch. And the disappointment and frustration levels must be massive. But likewise, if something happens and Jacinda Arden and the New Zealand government, Defence Force, whoever, don't make a decision to protect New Zealand people when something has changed with their security information from their security team, which I think is the same security team that England will be using, would be horrendous. It would be horrendous leadership and management. And you can see the outpour of emotion coming out through Twitter, which is why I kind of wanted to jump on here, because I feel that frustration from the Pakistani people, but I don't feel it's being rightly directed at Blackcaps cricket. Blackcaps cricket almost following instructions.
Well, that's it, isn't it? If you're representing the country and you're overseas and you're told that that's it, there's a security threat, you're not going to be told the details of it straight away. And what's a little bit disappointing to me is when you actually look at the quotes, it's clear that New Zealand government or whatever it might be, although Jacinda Arden, obviously New Zealand Prime Minister, spoken to the counterpart Imran Khan, it doesn't seem like Imran Khan has been party to that information. He's saying that there is no security threat of any kind that exists for the visiting team.
Yeah.
And in his statement, he's basically saying, look, earlier today, New Zealand Cricket informed us that they'd been alerted to some security alert and have unilaterally decided to postpone the series. Pakistan Cricket Board and Pakistan government made foolproof security arrangements for all visiting teams. We have assured New Zealand cricket of the same. They spoke personally, as we've just said. We have one of the best intelligence systems in the world and that no security threat of any kind exists. And security officials with the New Zealand team have been satisfied with security arrangements made by the Pakistan government throughout the stay here. They were willing, Pakistan Cricket Board was obviously willing to continue the scheduled matches. However, cricket lovers in Pakistan, according to their statement, and around the world will be disappointed by this last-minute withdrawal. Jacinda Arden, for her part, has said she totally supports the decision that's been made. Player safety has to be paramount. It really does frustrate a little bit that it does seem like Imran Khan isn't party to that same information. Now, obviously, politics, this is not the politics podcast, but there must be some information that New Zealand can share to suggest, look, this is the level of threat. It must be a threat that is serious and imminent for them to take this action.
Yeah.
And then surely Pakistan and the Pakistan security details or whatever it is over there, security services, should be made aware of what that is, in my opinion. But hey, that's just an opinion. But yeah, where do we go from here really for this one? I mean, we've got some quotes coming out, haven't we? Ramiz Raja, for just quickly jump to Twitter. The Ramiz Raja, who is now the new chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board. Crazy day it has been. Feel so sorry for the fans and our players. Walking out of the tour by taking a unilateral approach on a security threat is very frustrating, especially when it's not shared. So again, just emphasising the point we just made. Which world is New Zealand living in? New Zealand will hear us at ICC. So he is absolutely livid.
And I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I see that as a really, really poor, emotionally charged response. I don't feel that as someone of a respectable position, kind of going, okay, so something's changed, we need to protect people. I understand it's hard for Pakistan. I totally understand. I can't even imagine how hard it is for Pakistan. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But I find responses like that not very helpful for anybody.
No. Twitter is a medium to get your message out into the world very quickly. But it also, there's not so many checks and balances. You have official statements that come out from Pakistan Cricket Board, New Zealand Cricket Board, etc. When somebody has an individual account and individual access, he's the head, he's the mouthpiece now of that cricket board, isn't he?
Yeah.
And for him to come out and say that is just a little bit frustrating, even though you understand completely why he's frustrated.
Exactly.
It's the old thing. If I tweeted how my frustration about something, it's me. It doesn't really matter. But when the head of an organization, a well-respected figure, a fantastic ex-player and a figurehead now, when he says something like this, it's a little bit, it's a tinderbox, isn't it, at the moment? And it's quite disappointing. Everyone's frustrated. We wanted this cricket. We was really looking forward to covering some of this as well, weren't we? Obviously, from your New Zealand perspective.
Yeah.
It also impacts as well. England potentially were going to be over there just before the World Cup gets underway on the 17th of October. They were supposed to be going over to Pakistan to play a little bit of T20 warm-ups. I would assume now that's going to be off. We'll find out in the next 24, 48 hours. But if New Zealand have to head home straight away, they can't, hunker down and just wait to see what happens. If they're having to fly home straight away, then I'd suggest that England aren't going to take any risk, even if Pakistan Cricket Board, Pakistan government and Pakistan people don't believe that there is a risk.
I think that's the thing, mate. The security in every tweet you read from players who's been in the PSCL, and Darren Sammy did a really good one, saying there's no security in the world like it. Like the systems, the people, the policies, the things they have in place to protect the players is probably unprecedented in the world of cricket and maybe even the world of sport. They are doing everything. So for them, they probably can't do anything more. That's the
But that's the thing, is that Yeah, that's the thing. Pakistan, they lost cricket. They lost international cricket at home for 10 years. 10 years after what happened for the China. They want cricket back. They're going to do everything that they possibly can to make sure cricket is being held and make sure that travelling players and officials, etc., are safe and are looked after.
Yeah.
Obviously, nothing is 100% foolproof, is it? You know, you would hope it could be. Something could always go wrong. But you can't, you know, with the tours that have happened, with the PSL that have happened, it's not just Pakistan players that have played in the PSL, it's players from all over the world that have gone over and played. English players, West Indian, Aussies, whatever, South Africans, I'm sure. Yes. It's just so infuriating that this has happened. So on the eve, well, not even on the eve of the game, sorry, half an hour probably before a start time of the game. That's what's so frustrating, isn't it? You know, we thought it was annoying on the morning of a test match and India having to decide not to play. This was like, you know, like I say, half an hour before it was about to bowl the first delivery. So you got, you know, it's done now, isn't it? But it is really frustrating, and I totally understand the Pakistan frustrations. However, there's ways of dealing with it. I'm not sure Babar Azam has come out and Ramiz Raja has maybe done it in quite the right way with his tweet from earlier. But that's a minor detail.
Yeah, well, hopefully whatever it is does get shared around security agencies and governments, and things can be. There's obviously something. And I feel it's the government's responsibility where they've stepped in. If there's a danger to your country people or you perceive there to be a danger or an increase in security level, you need to have the balls to make hard decisions. And they've obviously made a really difficult decision here. And the fallout won't stop here. The fallout will go for quite a while, particularly from Ramiz Raja's tweet. It's going to the ICC and it's going to be investigated.
Yeah. Well, I just hope the governments can get heads together first, actually, and I think that will appease a long way. If there is credible information, then I'm sure it will appease things. I just looking as I'm reading further on, I completely forgot, but it was there was a bomb, wasn't there, that went off with and touring New Zealand team in 2002.
Yeah,
there was a bomb
Cairns
blast across from their hotel. Yeah. So it's just. That's something to be aware of in the backs of minds, isn't it, of those in charge of player safety and those responsible for the touring side.
And this is the first international cricket there in, we've said, a decade. And Jason Gillespie has given a quite a good tweet around this. New Zealand cricket, or New Zealand in general, would not have made the decision to end their tour to Pakistan lightly. They've shown time and time again that they're willing to do their part to promote and play our great game. So I don't think it's fair to be critical of them. However, we're all disappointed for Pakistan cricket, its players, its supporters, a wonderful cricketing country that's for a long time been deprived of consistent top-level cricket. Hope the situation improves quickly. And so do I. I hope New Zealand maybe at some point arrive back in Pakistan and can do this tour, because the reason why they're there first is because they're one of the countries that really want to help promote Pakistan cricket. And I understand this is impactful. But there's reasons beyond our knowledge levels of why this has gone on.
Yeah, as like I said, there have been other teams that have been over there recently, haven't there? I think South Africa were over there not too long ago. I might be talking nonsense, but there has been some international cricket there. But yeah, all we can do is it's a developing story now, isn't it? We wait an update. We'll hop back on next week, I'm sure, and catch up with where we are with this and amongst other things, plenty going on. So this will be one of many things that we have to keep an eye on.
We definitely will, Rich. Well, thank you very much for dropping on, guys. Let us know what your thoughts. You're going to be cricket fans from all around the world, all different countries, all different political beliefs and things like that. So keep it clean in the comments. But let us know, basically, are the government right to step in and make a change to this tour and pull the team out? That's what I want to know. If the answer to that is yes, even if it's a no, the players and Blackcaps cricket aren't the people at the forefront that should be cracking the brunt of this.
Yeah, definitely. And, Pakistan cricket fans, please get in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking, because we genuinely want to know. I mean, I honestly, I'm so happy to see cricket being played over there. It's a tour that I always wanted to do. I lived with a guy from Pakistan for a year at university, and I've always wanted to go back over there and tour and watch cricket in Pakistan. And it's gutting that I've not been able to yet. It's something I want. So every time I hear something like this, it really does hit home that it's just potentially putting it off a little bit longer. And I can't imagine what it must be like for you guys who's waited so long and wanting that cricket being held back at home. So let us know your thoughts, and hopefully it's not all directed at New Zealand cricket.
Yeah. So. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Subscribe if you're brand new around here. If you've enjoyed it, leave a big thumbs up. We'll see you guys next time.